Alrighty, what's up you guys? Coasters are Beasto9 here, back to do another video. As I told you, I'm in the process of moving into a new place. I am at the new place right now. There are boxes and bins and stuff full of shit behind me. We're still moving in, but I got some lights set up and I got some of my shit on the walls. So I figured, hey, why not bust out a video for you guys while I have a day off of work. So here we are. I wanted to talk about a movie that kind of took the world, or the box office I should say, by storm last weekend, and that movie being The Nun. If you guys are familiar with my channel and familiar with me, I'm like more, I don't know, my focus has always been more geared toward Halloween, but I also have, it's kind of horror centric as well. There are other things horror movie related, and The Nun is a movie that I was excited to see, that there was a lot of hype for. Everybody was kind of shitting their pants over it if you were a fan of the Conjuring universe, because all these movies are pretty good. Aside from the very first Annabelle, all the Conjuring movies are very, very, very solid movies, if not great movies. So I was definitely looking forward to this movie. Went and caught this one on opening weekend last weekend. I apologize for the late review. You guys have probably seen a million reviews now. Word of mouth has already gotten around. I just kind of wanted to throw my hat in the ring. And, you know, since we're moving in and stuff, it's been kind of hectic. So, anyway, my thoughts on The Nun. Well, first and foremost, to give you a quick, like, synopsis of what's going on. The Nun, basically, it takes place in 1952, I believe. It's 52 or 55. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. In Romania, in an abbey in Romania. Basically what happens is weird shit's going on at this abbey. So a nun, played by Taissa Farmiga's character, and Sister Irene is her name, and then a priest, I can't even remember what his, Father Burke, Father Burke, are sent there by the Vatican themselves to check it out and make sure the ground is still holy and find out kind of what's going on. Because, you know, the disappearances, the deaths that have been going on there, whatnot, has kind of brought it into question, I guess. So they go there. They kind of snoop around like a Scooby and Shaggy type deal. You know, they want answers. They want to interview people. They want to look for stuff. But honestly, before they even get the chance to look for stuff, it kind of finds them. And then they're in a fight of basically almost trying to stay alive in that abbey. It's no longer a choice that they're there. They're stuck there, and they're trying to stay alive. And everybody's favorite demon nun, Valak, is there to play. And basically, the movie is really that in a nutshell. It's just giving you the origin story of Valak that we were introduced to, the character we were introduced to in The Conjuring 2. Lorraine Warren's visions that she'd had and been kind of haunted, so to speak, by Valak. So this is the origin story in a way, I guess, although it doesn't, well, yeah, it kind of does tell you. So yeah, it's the origin story of Valak, and then what happened for Valak to get to the Warrens. Although that's a little murky. But anyway, bottom line is the movie itself is just okay. I love the acting by the Latino actor that played Father Burke. I don't know his name off the top of my head. I thought he did great. I thought that, what is it, Bonnie something, God, I can't remember her name, that plays the nun, aka Valak, of course, did great. And Taissa Farmiga, she's a really good actress. She's very talented, but I just don't know if the casting was right. Like, I know they kind of wanted to throw that little, like, her sister Vera Farmiga is Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring movies, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. Like, maybe that'd be kind of cool to put her sister in there, too, and kind of have it be like a family connection, I guess. So she doesn't portray the character poorly. She doesn't act poorly. But I just don't know if it was a fit. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know if this was the role for her. But it's not bad. So there's that. So yeah, we'll go with the pros of this movie. The pros the imagery is awesome. Whether it's the monastery, whether it's whether it's at night, whether it's during the daytime, you get very dimly lit, kind of gothic set pieces from inside the abbey. You get very nicely very nicely lit night scenes outside, like in the graveyard and stuff, through the woods. There's a lot of really beautiful cinematography in this movie. Kind of the shots of the abbey itself, and it's just, I don't know, it's very, the shots were done very, very nicely. The sound design is really, really cool. Very gothic as well. Very, foreboding. It sounds, a lot of it is like a very dark choir. In a sense, there's a lot of that background noise, kind of like that, at like multiple times in the movie, which is cool because something is happening and you're watching it unfold, and then like in the theater with the surround sound and the speakers around you, you're hearing that and you're like, it's kind of creepy. The visuals were great, honestly. The VFX, the CGI, like they came out really, really nicely. And yeah, so overall the movie looks really good. It sounds really good. It oozes atmosphere and just freaky shit. I mean, that's all there. But the cons, and really, for me, there's two cons that stand out. There's three. Okay, one is, first and foremost, the writing. I just feel like the writing fell flat a lot in the movie. I feel like they couldn't really build a coherent story. It was like, here's a piece of the story, here's a piece of the story, here's a piece of the story. But how we get to certain parts, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. I really want you to watch it for yourselves because personally, I don't find it to be a bad movie, but some of it's just kind of like, but why? Like there's a couple parts in the movie that I can think of off the top of my head that I'm like, but why would that happen? Like, why would that be a thing? Why would this cause that? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And not just that, some of the dialogue, so you can tell some of the scenes were very loosely written, in the sense of like, kind of go with it, like do what you're gonna do. It seems like, do your thing, and we'll go with the flow. I just feel like the story itself, it just could have been stronger. It could have come together a little bit more, and things could have lined up a little bit better. I just feel like there was a couple moments in the movie I remember where I'm just like, but why? But whatever. That's just me, maybe. The other complaint I had, I had two more. See, number two, I really didn't care for the comic relief character of Frenchie. He kind of annoyed me, but not to the point to where it was like unbearable and I couldn't watch the movie, but I just felt like he was kind of annoying, and he was almost like creepy at times where I was like, why are you in the movie? Like, it felt so forced. Like, it was so obvious that they were trying to have a character like that to kind of lighten the mood, but it just felt so forced. So yeah, I didn't like that. And I also didn't like the way that it all tied in to the Conjuring universe at the end. I've seen people online talking about how they think it's a really cool way to tie the universe together. If that's what you think, awesome. Like, that's your opinion. You're entitled to that. And like, if you can see it that way, like, good for you. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for that. But me personally, I just don't agree. I feel like it seemed really forced. And there's this epic moment in the climax. I mean, epic moment that I thought was so badass. I saw it coming. It's just gritty and downright grimy. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what part I'm talking about. But it's just like, for no pun intended, it's quite a I don't know, it's quite a spit in the face to Valak. But it was badass, and then to have that be, I don't know, to not get the payoff that you expect from that fucking thing happening, like, oh, but it's not over. I don't know. It's just, for me, I don't know. It just didn't tie into the Conjuring universe that well, because I don't know, it just felt a little forced. I wouldn't mind to see a sequel to this movie just so we can get kind of more of the bridge the gap between where this movie ends off and where they encounter Valak, the Warrens do. But to me, it just kind of felt forced a little bit at the end there. It just kind of felt forced. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's really it, honestly. It's just, those are my cons. Overall, I would say it is a solid movie. I would give it a C+, maybe a B-. Highest would be a B-. And that's just because there were times where I was sitting there and I was bored. Like, I was genuinely bored at points in the movie. They build up a lot of jump scares for you, and they don't really pay off because they're really fucking generic. Like, you see it coming. Some of them do pay off, some of them don't. And you can kind of see where things are going, like throughout the movie. So it's not super, I don't know. There's no big shock really. Aside from that fucking ending, dude. That climax with Valak, when they're facing off with Valak, is fucking awesome. I really dug that part of the movie. But yeah, I mean, it's just overall, it's an okay movie. I would put it above the first Annabelle because me personally, I find that movie to be shit. Save for the one scene in the basement of the apartment complex building where Annabelle, the demon, is actually like kind of materialized a little bit. And he's chasing her up the flight of stairs. Like, that was creepy. Everything else in that movie, I think, sucked ass. I don't really care for Annabelle at all. But that's the only bad Conjuring universe movie, is the first Annabelle. The Nun is still leaps and bounds better than the first Annabelle. But again, just some loose writing that doesn't always make sense. It leaves you kind of pondering a little bit at points. Some questionable casting and dialogue. A kind of a half-assed attempt to tie it all together at the end. And some parts where it kind of drags and it was a little boring. But overall, the climax is awesome. The imagery is awesome. The sound design is awesome. And there are some genuinely unsettling moments in the movie. I wish it could have been a little more coherent, but neither here nor there. It's out. It happened. And I don't feel like it was a waste of my money. So, like I said, I'm feeling generous tonight. I'm gonna give The Nun a B-. I'm gonna give The Nun a B-, and I'm gonna recommend it. I'm gonna recommend it, but we're just gonna say slightly recommend. Because you're not gonna miss out on a ton if you don't see it, but you're also not gonna be wasting your time if you do see it. So yeah, guys, that's my video for today. Talking about The Nun. If you guys like the video, please comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Make sure to check back into my channel, guys. I'm going to be doing videos like a lot more now. So I appreciate you guys' continued support, and I plan for my next video to be a ranking of the Conjuring universe. So come on back when that video comes up. I should have that uploaded, I would say, a day or two. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out. Please comment, like, subscribe. Signing off.